A few months ago, I made a mistake that set my skin back weeks. I thought I was doing everything right, cleansing properly, using retinoids, being consistent, and then one morning I woke up and my face felt wrong. Not painful, just this low grade itching that wouldn't go away. When I looked in the mirror, there it was. My skin looked duller than usual, and there was redness that hadn't been there before. I'd damaged my skin barrier. And to make it worse, I'd done it to myself by trying too hard to get results. If you've ever pushed your skincare routine too far or damaged your barrier, this video will show you exactly how to fix it. And more importantly, what to stop doing. I'm Kirk. I help men in their 30s who look tired or prematurely aged get their skin looking healthier and more rested, without complex routines or hype. I'm not a dermatologist, I'm someone who's made this exact mistake, fixed it, and now wants to save you some frustration. Everything I'm about to cover, including the exact products and the step-by-step repair sequence, is in the free Skin Reset guide that's linked down below. So don't worry about memorizing anything. Just understand why this happens and what to do about it. If that all sounds good and you want to follow along for the journey, click like and subscribe. Okay, let's reset. Let's start by talking about why this happens. Something I've noticed about men who are new to skincare is we tend to approach it a bit like going to the gym. We think more effort equals more results. If a little retinoid is good, more must be better. If the routine is working, push harder. That mindset works for building muscle, it doesn't work for skin. Your skin isn't a machine you can just keep pushing. It's an organ, a living system that needs balance. Too many actives, too much frequency, or just moving too fast sounds sensible, but it isn't. It doesn't just slow progress, it breaks the system. So what actually is your skin barrier? Well, the easiest way to think of it is like a brick wall. Your skin cells are the bricks. The barrier is the mortar, made up of oils, proteins, and lipids that hold everything together. When that mortar starts to crack, the wall stops doing its job properly. And assuming you've already taken care of the obvious stuff, not wiping your face with a dirty towel, not letting sweat sit on your skin after workouts, avoiding harsh soaps, and actually changing your pillowcases and bedding, most people don't damage their skin barrier by doing something wrong. They damage it by doing too much of the right things. And that's exactly what happened to me. I was a few weeks into using Tretinoin and I was starting to see some early results and I got a bit excited. So I thought I'd try and speed things up. So I added some glycolic acid, the ordinary 7% glycolic acid toning solution to be exact. It's well rated online, affordable, and it felt like the logical next step. But when I applied it, my face started to tingle. And 20 minutes later, that mild tingle felt genuinely itchy and uncomfortable. So I washed it off and applied some thick moisturizer. The next morning, my skin felt tight, still itchy, slightly red. And that feeling didn't go away. I pushed too hard, too fast on skin that wasn't ready. So instead of progressing, I had to stop everything and undo the damage I'd caused. What I did next felt completely counterintuitive, but I'm pretty sure it's why I recovered in a few days rather than a couple of weeks. But before I explain what actually fixes for me, you need to know how to recognize the early signs, because that's where most people miss their chance. In my experience, you usually feel barrier damage before you see it. Your skin tells you something's wrong long before it shows up visually. The early signs are subtle, which is why a lot of men push through them thinking it's normal. It's not. I break this down into two categories: how it feels and how it looks. Let's talk about the feeling signs first. Your skin feels tight and it's a bit uncomfortable, like it hasn't settled. If you ever washed your face and thought, I need to moisturize now, that's usually your first warning sign. There's itching that lingers or new sensitivity. Products that you used to tolerate suddenly sting or burn. There's an ingredient people quite often add when their barrier is damaged that actually makes things worse. I don't want to tell you about that, but I'll come back to it later. And then there are the visible signs. Redness is the obvious one, but inflammation can be subtler. Your skin just looks tired or dull. Your skin might feel warm to the touch, or you can get flaking or peeling, often around the nose, mouth, or under the ears, around here. I usually see that a couple of days after overdoing tretinoin. Fine lines can also look more pronounced because the skin's dehydrated. The usual pattern is this: tightness and itching first, then sensitivity, then redness and flaking. Catch it early and recovery takes days. Push through to the third stage and it takes much longer. This is where you're more likely to mess up. When your skin feels angry, the instinct is to add something, a heavier moisturizer, a calming serum, something to fix it. If this feels counterintuitive, good, it should. Because when it comes to healing your skin barrier, less is almost always best. So, what do you actually do about this? When your barrier is damaged, the single most important thing you can do is stop. Not reduce, stop. Now, this is the boring part, but it's the part that actually works. The first thing to do is strip everything back to basics. Stop all actives immediately. No retinoids, no vitamin C, no acids, basically nothing active at all. I know it feels like going backwards and you want to keep pushing for results, but it isn't. It's the fastest way forward. For the next day or two, your entire routine should just be a gentle cleanser, like Round Lab's Docto Cleanser, but there's a lot of other good gentle cleansers out there, so just find one that works, and a simple barrier supportive moisturizer. And when I say moisturizer, I don't mean anything fancy or expensive. You just want to look for ingredients like glycerin for hydration, ceramides to help rebuild the barrier, or squalene, I think that's how you pronounce it, to reduce water loss. No actives, no stimulation, just support. Earlier, I mentioned that there's an ingredient most people often add when their barrier is damaged that actually makes things worse. That ingredient is niacinamide. Not because it's bad, it's actually pretty useful and good for healing, but because when your barrier is compromised, tolerance drops. At that point, even ingredients that are normally beneficial can start to sting, especially at higher concentrations or in more complex formulas. In practice, I tend to stick to around 5% or lower during barrier recovery because that's where most people seem to tolerate it best. But even then, I still find that it stings sometimes. But that might not be the same for you. I list specific product examples in the Skin Reset Guide so you don't have to guess. But CeraVe's moisturizing cream or lotion and S Nature's squalene cream are a couple of good examples if you're following the skin reset method. I also find Asturia's Atto Barrier 365 cream great when I have a damaged barrier. Now, sunscreen. UV damage definitely does harm to your skin barrier, and sunscreen matters long term. There's no debate. But where things do get debated, even among medical professionals, is what to do when the barrier is already damaged. Some people argue that certain sunscreen formulas can irritate compromised skin, and that short-term UV avoidance, staying indoors, using UPF hats, and sticking to shade, can help calm things down faster. Others argue that gentle, well-formulated mineral sunscreens are usually tolerated just fine. Personally, I go down the middle. If I can realistically avoid UV, staying indoors, away from windows, or fully cover the irritated area, that's usually what I'll do. If I need to be outside, I just go with a gentle mineral sunscreen. For me, it's about balancing protection with irritation while your skin heals. And if there's any dermatologists watching, or if anyone knows of a really solid, conclusive study on this, I'd genuinely love to see it. Which brings us on to the second step: protect what's left. A damaged barrier is constantly losing moisture. You need to seal it in. This is where something as simple as Vaseline becomes a hero. Scooping it out and putting it on your face isn't the best user experience, but it works. I really like scuba diving, usually somewhere tropical. But when I'm diving somewhere colder and using a dry suit, if there's a small leak around one of the seals or one of the valves, you apply Vaseline to stop water getting in. Same idea here. Vaseline forms an occlusive layer on the top of your skin that stops water escaping, giving it the best conditions to repair. There's some debate online as to whether slugging Vaseline across your face causes breakouts. I haven't experienced it personally, and the official scientific line seems to be that it doesn't. But if you're worried, don't worry. I'll talk you through some other options. There's La Roche-Posay's Cicaplast Balm B5. It's a classic if you want something that feels less like petroleum jelly. It's a nice thick cream that I find really soothing. Or there's CeraVe's Advanced Repair Ointment. I like this one a lot too. It's probably one of my favorite products from CeraVe. But if I'm honest, it's basically a bougie Vaseline with added ceramides and hyaluronic acid. And then there's one that not as many people seem to talk about: Bepanthen. A lot of people use this to heal their tattoos, or if they're treating nappy rash on a baby. I think there's better options for both of those things. I find it's great for healing irritation. It's pretty inexpensive. I think I paid £3, $4 for this, and it doubles up as one of the best lip balms I've come across. There's a couple of other options I could talk about. Believe me, I wanted to, but I'm trying to practice restraint. Which brings us on to the third point, using lukewarm water only. Hot water strips oils from your skin. When your barrier is compromised, hot showers and washing your face with hot water make things worse. Keep water lukewarm. Pat dry with clean towels, or better yet, let your face air dry. These three things are what actually repair a damaged skin barrier. You don't want to add more products, you want to remove them. So how do you actually rebuild? Once your skin feels calm again and there's a clear signal, you can start rebuilding. You'll know when you're ready when the tightness and itching are completely gone. Your skin should feel neutral, not tight or irritated, just calm. That's your signal. Once you're there, the first phase is to focus on hydration. You want to stick with that same barrier supportive moisturizer you've been using, but you can add something gently hydrating here, like a hyaluronic acid serum, like Torridon's Dive-In serum, or snail mucin, like the one from CosRx, if you already have them lying around and you can tolerate them. Skin 1004's Centella serum, if you have it on hand, could also be a good shout around about now too, but no actives yet. Phase 2 is patch test. Before you put anything back on your full face, you want to patch test it first. Just a small dab somewhere on your face to see if it's going to irritate you, and then wait 24 hours. I know it can feel tedious, but it should save you from having to repeat this cycle. You can always dab a small amount of vitamin C on the left side of your face in the morning and your retinoid on the right side of your face in the evening. So if you do experience an irritation in the first 24 hours, you know what caused it and where it's coming from. The third phase is reintroduce slowly. Start with your antioxidant, vitamin C in the morning, and give it a couple of days. If your skin tolerates that, then reintroduce your retinoid at a lower frequency than before, one night per week, and build gradually. The goal isn't speed, it's building something your skin can actually sustain. The full skin reset method, including every product I've mentioned and exactly when to use them, is in the free guide linked down below. And if you want to understand why men in their 30s start looking tired even when they feel fine, watch the video I've made up here. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.